Good evening, Warriors, and welcome back to another edition of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. This is episode 23 for the week of December 7th, 2025, and this is your home for every highlight, every score, and every standout moment across Warrior Nation. Winter sports are now rolling at full speed, and our athletes are making an impact in every corner of the athletic department. On the basketball courts, our middle school boys are winding down their season. The high school boys have kicked off their season, and the high school girls squads are ready to start competition this week. We'll break down the week's matchups, spotlight key performers, and look ahead to the challenges that await as December heats up. Over in the wrestling room, our Warriors are grinding through early season meets with determination. From big wins to breakout moments, the wrestlers are already proving they're ready to battle through every weight class. We'll highlight who stood out and what's up next. Out on the lanes, our bowling teams continue to impress with strong scores. Whether it's strikes, spares, or high pressure frames, our bowlers are showing they're ready to compete with anyone. Powerlifting is ramping up as well, and our athletes are stacking weight and stacking progress. From bench presses to powerful deadlifts and rock solid squats, the strength program is building momentum heading into its busy stretch of the season. And of course, competitive cheer is bringing the energy, precision, and athleticism that define their program. With routines tightening and difficulty rising, they're preparing for a strong, competitive season. Plus, we'll hit on even more updates from around Warrior Nation as we keep you connected to every athlete, every team, and every moment that makes Grass Lake Athletics so special. So, buckle up, Warriors. We got a big show ahead. And here we go. We're going to get things kicked off with some wrestling. Our youth wrestlers have been wrestling for about a month and a half now, and our varsity wrestlers just got fired up with their season this week. And then the middle school kids will get things kicked off after the first of the year, right after we get back from Christmas break. But the high school wrestling, like I said, kicked off this week. They were out at Springport for a quad on Wednesday, and then Friday night, the East Jackson girls invite, and then Saturday morning out at Parkside for the Jaws event. I'm still working on trying to figure out a way to get results from all these events. I want to give all our wrestlers their due. They've spent a lot of time training and preparing for these events, so we want to celebrate everything wrestling, big and small. So if you've got inside info for me, please feel free to shoot it to me at glsportsweeklyreport at gmail.com. I'll try to get everything I can on the show. But the Springport Quad, I'm not 100% sure how things went out there. That was their first event of the year. And then the East Jackson girls invite. We have one girl on the varsity team, Ava Hall. She was out there represent the Warriors. No better female wrestler to have representing us than Ava. So she went out there and competed on Friday night. As you can see, she went out there, had 4 matches. Her first match was a win by Tech Fall 16-0. And then a pin in the third match. So eventually going 2-2 on the night. So big congratulations to Ava. Appreciate all your efforts and continue to drive on. And then the boys were out at Parkside Saturday morning. Like I said, the team is small. Not a lot of wrestlers, but we do have some really solid wrestlers. Some guys that have been wrestling a long time. And then we got Evan Andrews stepping in there stepping out of his comfort zone, trying something new. So big shout out to Evan for giving wrestling a whirl. Not an easy task to take on, but proud of you, dude. At Jaws, we had three wrestlers that went 4-1 on the day: Aiden Johnson, Max Lashaw, and Justin Rope. And then three wrestlers that went 5-0: Grady Cromery, Braden Rody, and Aiden Durham. So great day wrestling for them boys. Like I said, the team is not large in numbers, but I promise you they are large in heart. So we'll keep track on them. And like I said, if you've got information, um, you know, on results from wrestling meets, shoot them my way. Let me know. Let's celebrate these Warriors. At the youth level, most of our wrestlers were out at Western High School on Saturday, December 7th for the Cascades conference tournament. Adam Hall with a second place finish and 1 pin. Alec Davis with a first place finish, 2 pins. Avery Davis with a fifth place finish. Bo Cromery with a first place finish, 3 pins on the day. Bracken Cole with a first place finish, 3 pins on the day. Bryant Lockwood with a first place finish and 2 pins. Cameron Kaiser with a third place finish. Easton Cole with a first place finish, 2 pins, and a win in sudden death overtime. Nice job, Easton. Everett Kelly with a first place finish, 2 pins. Gordon Thompson with a third place finish. Grant Laraway with a fourth place finish. Hagen Paul getting some mat time with a fourth place finish. Jack Zans with a third place finish and a pin on the day. Kaizen Leathid with a first place finish, 2 pins. Liam Kinsella with a second place finish and a pin. Marshall Johnson with a second place finish. Memphis Hall with a first place finish, 2 pins. Nolan Kaiser with a second place finish. Owen Bigford with a fourth place finish. Sawyer Frost with a third place finish and 1 pin. Thad Carruthers with a fourth place finish. Wesley Charles with a second place finish, 1 pin. Xander Dakota with a third place finish. Overall, as a team, the Warriors finished in 5th place. Once again, wrestling is highly contingent upon the number of wrestlers that you have. So the more wrestlers you have, the more points that you earn. Obviously, we're at a Western tournament. Western did have a lot of wrestlers there, so it doesn't. And then they have a good program. Don't get me wrong; they have good wrestlers. But the more wrestlers you put on the mat, the higher potential you have of scoring. So, congratulations to all those Warriors that competed out there at Western. Great job. And then they will travel to Napoleon next weekend, next Saturday. Hopefully, we get to wrestle in their newly built gym. Get to break that in with some good youth wrestling. The following weekend, which is December 21st, Saturday, December 21st, the Cascades Conference Youth Wrestling Program will come to Grass Lake at the high school. This is our only youth tournament of the year. It's the main fundraiser supporting the youth, middle school, and high school wrestling. Every volunteer spot filled directly strengthens our program. We still need help for mainly table workers. As you can see, we've only got, we really don't even have half of the table workers we need right now. For the morning, we have 7 of 16 slots filled. And for the afternoon, we have 6 of 16 slots filled. These are probably the most vital positions. And I know you may be hesitant to do it because you don't know what you're doing. But trust me, we've got people that are there to help you. Those people that know how to do it can't be at every mat for every match. So we've got to have bodies out there. If you're interested in doing this, I will have the Sign Up Genius link in the description of the show, but we really need help for this. Like I said, we've still got plenty of spots open for AM scorekeepers and afternoon scorekeepers. Those are the two vital positions for this tournament. That is, once again, that's Saturday, December 21st. So we need your help. We've got to come together as a family, as a wrestling family, um, and fill those spots to make this happen for our young wrestlers. So this coming week, our varsity wrestlers will be at the Allen Park Rumble in the Jungle on Saturday, December 13th. Looks like things kick off at 8 a.m. Wrestling season is hot. Like I said, middle school will start right after Christmas break. So life is good for these wrestlers. We'll move over to some Grass Lake hoops action as the boys varsity team kick things off this week with the home opener against Quincy at Grass Lake High School. And here are some highlights from that matchup. Unfortunately, the boys would come up short, losing that home opener to Quincy 23-47. They would then travel to Leslie on Friday night, December 5th, to take on the Blackhawks for their second game of the year, and unfortunately lose that one 27-64. They will jump back into action next Wednesday night. The JV team played Quincy and Leslie as well last week. In the game against Quincy, the JV boys came up short 37-60, but showed potential. Evan Matthews had 10 points. Elijah Walling and James Warburton each had 6 points for the Warriors. And here are some highlights from those matchups. Friday night out at Leslie, the JV boys lost a close one, 38-33. Elijah Walling had 11 points. Evan Matthews with 5 points. Lamar Zagarlowitz and James Warburton each with 4 points. Our JV and varsity boys will be back at home on Wednesday night against Homer, and then travel to East Jackson Friday night. I believe JV starts at 5:30, and then the varsity will follow that up immediately after the JV is done. So both teams looking for their first wins of the season next week. So if you can get out there and support them boys, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Our middle school boys were at it this week as well. Seventh grade boys were able to come away with a victory 49-39 over the Eagles. The eighth graders were unfortunately on the wrong side of the scoreboard, losing 22-51 to the Golden Eagles. Joe Presnell led the Warriors with 10 points and 9 rebounds, followed by Ethan Larson with 4 points, Grady Jones with 4 points, Owen Schaefer with 2 points, Wyatt Charles with 2 points. Owen Schaefer also with 9 rebounds on the night. The boys would then travel to East Jackson on Wednesday night, where the seventh graders would pull out a victory, and the eighth graders as well. Finally, getting rid of that losing streak and finding a W, winning 42-13 over the Trojans, with all kinds of Warriors putting points on the board. Joe Presnell with 9 points. Easton Jarko with 9 points. Owen Schaefer with 4. Andrew Presnell with 4. Wyatt Charles with 4. Gavin Brzezinski with 3. Grady Jones with 3. Mason Basham with 2. Dayton Stoddard with 2. And Chase Carper with 2. So big win for those eighth graders. They've been searching for one for a couple weeks now after winning the season opener, and they finally got one. Also, last week, the eighth graders got together for some team bonding on Friday night, decorating the trailer for the Grass Lake Festival of Lights parade on Saturday night. So we got together at my house, decorated the trailer, had some pizza, and hung out for a little while. And then the boys jumped into the parade on Saturday night. So that brings the seventh grade record to 6-2 on the season, and the eighth graders improved to 2-6 after their win over East Jackson. They will be back on the court Monday night at the Grass Lake Middle School against the Manchester Flying Dutchmen, and then Wednesday they will travel out to Addison to take on the Panthers. Varsity bowling got things underway this week as well, as they had their first bowling event of the season Wednesday night against Leslie, where the girls came out on top over Leslie 30-0, and the boys as well 29-1. The boys also went toe to toe with the Manchester Flying Dutchman Friday night. And unfortunately, I'm not sure what the results of that were, but the boys are looking good, so I'm expecting a W out of that one. Then on Saturday, both the girls and the boys traveled up to Royal Scott for the Battle of the Bakers kickoff, and the girls grabbed a fourth place finish. Great job, ladies. And up this week, it looks like the boys and the girls will be at Suburban Lanes against Columbia Central on Friday night. So if you got nothing going on Friday night, come out, check out our varsity boys and girls bowling teams. On the ice, Jackson Zebo and his Jackson United team took on Ann Arbor Huron Saturday at Optimus Ice Arena and came out on top 8-1. And according to the Michigan High School Hockey Hub, that puts the Jackson United team atop the Southeastern Conference White. Their upcoming schedule shows that they will be in Chelsea on Wednesday night at the Arctic Coliseum. 5:30, the puck drops. And then they will travel to the Bay City Arena to take on Bay City Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. And then Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, the puck drops against Hudsonville. Dylan Downs, Levi Boatler, and Ty Kerfman and their Melody Performance team traveled down to Louisville over the weekend to compete at the Iceland Sports Complex. Friday night, they came up short, losing 6-1, and then bounced back Saturday morning with an 8-1 win over the St. Louis Rockets. And then in a tight matchup Saturday night against Louisville Ice Cardinals, Melody Performance won 1-0 in a shutout with Levi Boatler in goalie, and then played in the championship game on Sunday against the same team that they had lost against Friday night, and unfortunately came up short, losing 6-2, but finished in second place down in Louisville. Congratulations to them boys and that Melon Performance team. Your next event will be back in Michigan on Saturday night at the Novi Ice Arena. And some crazy, unexpected track and field news. Spring Arbor will host a track and field elite clinic on January 6th and 8th from 4 to 7 p.m. This is an opportunity for collegiate level training in your specific track and field events. Spots are limited, so register while they last. Tuesday, January 6th will be sprints, hurdles, and throws. And then Thursday, January 8th will be pole vault, long jump, and high jump. The cost is $40 per day, t-shirt included, or $80 for both days. This will be at the McDonald Athletic Center in Spring Arbor, 106 East Main Street. I will try to find the registration link for this and put that in the description of the show for you guys to have the quick access to. So once again, that's the Spring Arbor Track and Field High School Elite Clinic, January 6th and 8th. I know the flyer says 2025, but I'm fairly confident they mean 2026. Something new and unique being done down at Prate's Place is a Prate's Place Warrior Wall. It's a new permanent feature in the restaurant and honors the outstanding local athletes who have gone on to play college sports. These warriors have worked hard, achieved big, and deserve to be recognized for years to come. The wall will fill up fast, and each name added will remain on display forever. If you'd like to have your athlete added to that wall, simply stop into Prates and provide them with the full name, sport played, graduating year, college or university name. The cost is $35 for the plaque. But once again, that will remain on the wall forever for all to see. So cool. Cool little project. Appreciate Prate's Place for putting that together and honoring those Grass Lake Warriors that have moved on to play at the next level. Some more exciting news this winter. All home basketball games. High school students will get in free, no charge. Just show your student ID at the admission table to get in, get access to the game. More people we can pack the gym, the more energy it creates. So if you have the opportunity, a way to get there, and you can be there, pack that gym. Let's support our Warriors. Let's get loud. Let's bring the energy. Let's bring the hype. Let's have some fun. Don't forget to visit your Grass Lake Warriors official sporting website. Uh, get caught up on some sporting events this week. You can see our featured event is Tuesday night. The girls basketball will kick off their season at Father Gabriel Richard High School. other events happening this week that are on this Grass Lake Warriors website. The girls' home opener, Thursday night, December 11th, against East Jackson. Also on Thursday, middle school cheer, competitive cheer, will be at East Jackson. Friday night bowling, both the girls and the boys will be at Suburban Lanes. Looks like probably against Columbia Central. Boys basketball is at home Friday night against East Jackson. Saturday morning, the wrestling team will be heading out to Allen Park. And the girls varsity competitive cheer team has a competition. It says to be determined. I'm not sure where they're going to be at, but if anybody knows, hey, shoot me a message. Let me know. And then big event at the high school, the first powerlifting meet of the season. And the girls basketball will also be away on Saturday. Rockford High School looks like the JV and the varsity both. So lots of things happening actually on Saturday. You can also visit the GOFAN.com app. This is the app that you can purchase tickets on for a lot of the events for middle school, high school sporting events. And as you can see here, like I said previously, middle school boys will be at home against Manchester on Monday night, and then Wednesday evening, the JV and varsity boys will be at home. Remember, free admission for those students with student IDs against the Homer Trojans, and then the girls' home opener on Thursday night against East Jackson. Once again, free admission to all those students with student IDs. And then the girls travel to Rockford on Saturday morning. That is, again, the JV and varsity girls. So you can also look at this GoFan.com app. Has a couple more events on it that aren't listed on the Warrior website. And this is, like I said, this is the site that you can use. It also has a phone mobile app that you can use to purchase tickets as well for a lot of the middle school and high school events. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting our Warriors. Every week, this community shows what pride, passion, and commitment look like, and it's an honor to highlight the incredible things our athletes are doing. Remember, this show is stronger because of you. If you have photos, highlights, story ideas, or anything happening in the world of Warrior sports, send them to me at glsportsweeklyreport@gmail.com. I love featuring your moments and keeping our entire community connected. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and most importantly, spread the word about the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. Share it with friends, family, students, coaches, players, and anyone who loves supporting Grass Lake athletics. The more we grow, the more we can celebrate our kids and showcase everything that makes this community special. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support. And thank you for lifting up our Warriors every single week. Until next time, God bless our kids. God bless our community. And go Warriors!